So hi everyone, happy summer. I think I know all of you. Some I haven't met in person yet, but I'm David McGuire, Director of Shark Stewards, and we save sharks to protect where they live. So this is kind of a monthly thing we started where volunteers, wherever they live, can get together and we can cross-pollinate and work together on projects we've been working on since the past year when COVID. But also create new projects or new friendships and build on shark conservation together. So why don't we just go through and do like quick introductions. David, why don't we start with you since you're top left on my screen.
Hi, everybody. My name is David Cronin. I'm a student at the University of Miami studying marine biology and ecology. And I've been volunteering with Shark Stewards for almost 5 months now, helping with the Shark Sheets projects.
And he's wearing a very cool shirt. He won one of the shark trivias. And we have a shark trivia question. We stand by and you can win a t-shirt. Thanks, David. And Lily, who is running the Shark Watch program that David is looking at some of the data for. So, hey, Lily, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us about Shark Watch too?
Hi, I'm Lily. I'm going to be a senior at UC Berkeley this semester. I'm environmental science public policy, and I've been doing Shark Watch for about 6 or 7 months now, just continuing the project. And what we're doing is we're taking data from social media sources, and what we're going to do is come October, use the data that we have on shark catches off of piers and propose to Fish and Wildlife that we need stricter policy related to protecting sharks off the coastline from pier fishing. So really excited about this project.
Yeah, and we've got thousands of data points, and we can talk a little bit more about that later in the conversation. So thanks. And Lexi's with us too, who's been working on Shark Watch. And we went diving, Lily, Lexi, and a couple others in Pacific Grove, free diving last weekend.
Yeah, hi everyone, my name's Lexi. I just graduated from Santa Clara University and I'm going to be going to grad school in a few months. And I've been working on Shark Watch with Lily, and then I also finished up an eBay campaign I was working on with David, and yeah, I'm still finishing up a little bit more on that.
Yeah, great, thank you. And we still need to get to that letter. And Michael Bear.
Hi, yeah, Michael Bear. I'm a Citizen Science Director with Ocean Sanctuaries. We're a marine citizen science nonprofit in San Diego, and we run a couple citizen science shark programs. One, David alluded to earlier with Seven Gill Sharks and Wild Book, which is a pattern recognition program. And then the other is David and I are working to jumpstart another project that uses a different database called Sharks of California, which has been using a database called FieldScope, and Dave and I are going to talk about ways of jumpstarting that. So glad to be here.
Yeah, great. And Mike and I are old dive buddies, starting with Seven Gill Sharks a long time ago. Let's see. So Audrey.
Hi, I'm Audrey. I'm a senior at UC Berkeley studying marine science and integrative biology, and I'm currently helping Lily with the Shark Watch project.
Great, welcome. And Bill.
Hi everybody. I'm Bill. I'm on David's advisory board. Thanks for letting me sit in. Thanks for all your work, everybody, too. It's great.
Great to have you, Bill. Thanks. Let's see, Frank. Hi, Frank. I don't think we've had a chance to talk yet.
Hey, I'm Frank. I was gonna write blog posts. Now I want to say, I'm sorry it's taking so long for me to make the first blog post I was gonna make. My mother's been sick. A lot of stuff's been happening recently, but I should be able to try to get it done by this weekend.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
we
I'm sorry to
appreciate
hear
your
about your
help,
mother.
Frank.
Yeah. No worries. Gotta take care of family, number one, and health is critical, important for us all. So you want to hop in there, Justin?
Yeah, I think I've met all of you already, hopefully. And so basically my focus is on putting the right volunteers in the right spots to help us achieve our goals and just to help implement any projects as David and the board requests. So I'm going to be working with a lot of you frequently and looking forward to it.
Great. Okay, well, thank you. Justin's really been a huge help. We've got a huge volunteer team internationally, and it's hard to shuffle all our projects. And we have a big workforce, which has been pretty impressive. So I just wanted to share kind of a draft deck we're still working on, but for people who aren't familiar with what we do, it's just a little bit about Shark Stewards programs. And can everybody see that? Great. So we're a nonprofit founded in 2006. We're part of the Earth Island Institute based in Berkeley, which is a kind of an international nonprofit think tank that has 80 projects around the world. And so we work in shark conservation, and our mission is to save sharks from overfishing and the shark fin trade and protecting critical marine habitat. And we do that through education, science, and applying that towards advocacy and conservation policy. So shark fin bans, we've been supporting, actually helped introduce the federal shark fin ban that's passed through the Senate and is now in the House under HR 2811. So we have an active campaign writing Congress people, making phone calls, sending emails, and we have a petition that we want to get over 150,000 before we deliver it. So I'd like to ask your help to share that. And I'll show you the link a little bit later. And then working to educate and facilitate compliance marine protected areas in California, which is our MPA program. And then working in Southeast Asia and trying to create marine protected areas and work in policy around fishing and the shark fin trade. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to get to our conservation partners in Indonesia, Singapore, and Malaysia since COVID struck, but we're still on regular phone calls trying to support them from afar and someday get back there without a 1 month quarantine, which is what it is now. So there's an urgency to protect sharks. The more data, the more studies that come out, the higher the numbers get of sharks threatened with extinction. Even the sharks that are being fished, we're fishing down the smaller sharks and the rays. We're running out of big sharks. 90% of some species are completely gone. A study in Nature published early this year suggests 77% of all sharks and rays that once swam in the ocean have been fished out in the last 50 years. So there's really an urgency to protect sharks, but also where sharks live and their habitat. So we try to facilitate protection through collecting data, using citizen science, and applying that towards activism sometimes and advocacy and policy. So we've got a couple big campaigns trying to increase marine protected areas, supporting the UN Sustainable Development Goal to protect 30% of our ocean by 2030. Namely, what we're trying to increase marine protection in the San Francisco Bay, which is the 5th region under the California law. California, depending on how you define marine protected areas, is doing quite well relative to the rest of the world. We protected over 30% of our waters in our national marine sanctuaries and state marine protected areas. But the rest of the world is far behind. In some areas like the Coral Triangle, marine protected areas are only measure up to around 1% or less in many of these countries that have the highest biological diversity on the planet. We're also hoping to make the United States a leader in banning the shark fin trade, which really will have global impacts for import-export, endangered species that are caught illegally and are imported and then either sold domestically or exported to China, Singapore, and Malaysia, where they're consumed as shark fin soup. So we feel that sharks are important to protect because sharks are really the symbols of ocean health, and the ocean, like this pandemic, the ocean is getting sick. We're losing our coral reefs, we're acidifying it, huge impacts from climate change and overfishing. So we know that when there's sharks present, the ocean is healthier. There's also strong evidence that sharks are also managing ecosystems that actually store blue carbon, so they can actually offset climate change and increase our oxygen supply that the world relies on. So saving a shark can very well save the ocean and save humanity. So we have another of major goals, and we have short-term goals to reduce the shark fin trade in the US, as I said, but also internationally, in Singapore in particular, by collecting trade data. And we have goals to increase protected areas through these conservation centers in Malaysia and Indonesia, possibly even in Timor-Leste in the next 5 years. And then just reduce overall impacts on the ocean through education by reducing plastic waste and other human impacts. And we are a grassroots organization with hundreds of volunteers and a lot of energy and a lot of passion trying to affect change. So we try to do that through introducing legislation and policy, collecting data to support greater conservation, like the Shark Watch program, which we'll talk about a little bit more in detail, that Lily alluded to, facilitating better compliance in our marine protected areas, and conduct research like we did in our Cal Coast snapshot with the Cal Academy last week to ensure long-term data, looking at trends to provide information for better management, and then transfer some of those tools and experience we've learned and teach people in other less wealthy or less privileged countries to protect their own habitat. And then community engagement, which is a big one. So we try to reach people directly, and now through video on our YouTube channel, through partners, and through our film festival that is in San Francisco, but also we've screened it in Hong Kong. The goal was to screen it in Singapore last year, but that didn't happen. But we hope to bring it to Southeast Asia and China, but also produce material about the ocean to reach Chinese in Chinese in their own language. So working with young people to share the message about sustainability and ocean conservation. So our Shark Watch program, in short, we've been working on this since 2016, collecting data either through direct observation of shark catch, but also of shark killing, in some case shark catch and release, but we've refocused using Instagram and Facebook, scraping the internet using social media keywords, and we got over 5,000 data points, and Lily and Lexi and Audrey and others, David, are working to glean through that data to verify it and validate it so we can present this to Fish and Wildlife, showing the degree of impacts on not only protected sharks like white sharks that are being attracted to public piers by chumming, but also pregnant seven-gill sharks and soup fin sharks that come to the San Francisco Bay to nurture and give birth. We're also, the goal is to protect the public safety. We've been working with UC Berkeley on a QR code that goes into a website that will help people share information, learn more, give us information on shark capture or just shark observations that we can integrate into that data set with Ocean Sanctuaries with Mike Baer. So that's a 2021 goal, and the goal is to implement this regulation change this fall. Okay, so we're gonna take a break. So win your t-shirt. We got shark trivia here. So what is the deepest shark ever observed? And approximately how deep? And I'm not gonna give people time to Google it. So does anybody know or have if you even got close enough to the family, we'll give it to you. So Mike, do you know? It's a tough one. Well, I'll give you
not off the top of my head now.
I'll give you a hint. The family of the shark is one of the largest schooling shark that are often caught off the East Coast for fish and chips.
Is it the frilled shark?
No, good guess though. That's a deep sea shark. in this case, it's the Portuguese dogfish, Centrosiminus coeliopsis. And they're a small shark, and they're kind of squat, slow moving, and they've been recorded at over 3,000 meters, so something like 9,300 feet. There's been some interesting research about sharks in the abyss or the abyssal plain. And I just read an article how poorly represented sharks are in the real deep sea because of the radiation of the teleos fish 60 million years ago. Those fish actually are more oxygen efficient, and they occupied those benthic and deep sea niches ahead of the sharks. So in general, you don't see a lot of very deep sea elasmobranchs. So this guy's the deepest one that's ever been observed. They're a pretty small shark. I think that's like, that's 12 inches there, or whatever that would be, and it's 30 centimeters or so. So pretty small sharks, but they do school. They're slow moving. They have this big eye. They're obviously adapted to deep sea, low light conditions, or almost no light conditions in this case, but almost a greatly reduced first dorsal, a little chubby pectoral fins. They don't move very fast, and they probably feed primarily on invertebrates like crustaceans. Okay, moving on. So another one of our programs is the Marine Protected Areas. This has been a state program since really 2019 when the law was enacted. We now have 16% of our state waters protected through this network of ecosystem connected, well studied and pretty well managed marine protected areas, marine conservation areas, and marine recreation areas, which there are about, I think there are 224 from San Diego to Oregon. So now we're on the point of studying them, looking at their efficacy, seeing how they're benefiting not only habitat, but also species, including habitat and fisheries outside of the protected area. And then we're working on an online education docent toolkit through a grant from the Ocean Protection Council that will be launched this year. So we'll be able to do that. We'll invite you to one of the trainings. You can test your MPA knowledge, take the quizzes, get a certificate, and go out and be a more informed marine protected area docent. This will be reaching existing docent programs like the MPA Watch program, like the Beach Watch program that Bill is part of with our National Marine Sanctuaries, with the California Academy of Sciences and other natural history museums. And the goal is to really create more people who are more aware so they can share to people who might be fishing illegally or extracting from the tide pools illegally, letting them know they could get a fine, and also that these are benefiting not only habitat, but as well as the species that live in them. And then the long-term goal is to bring it into the San Francisco Bay. Our Southeast Asia program is kind of the longer vision program because the Coral Triangle has more species in the ocean environment than any other place on the planet. It has incredible diving. It has a hugely growing population that's increasingly fishing, including China, selling to China, but China is also fishing in these countries bounded by Australia, Solomon Islands, Indonesia. And we're losing a lot of fish, including many species of benthic sharks in particular, are becoming threatened. So trying to create increased protection, not only from fishing, but also through the shark fin trade, because 98% of shark fin eventually ends up in either China, Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, and increasingly in Asian populations in South India, in Vietnam. So this dish of the emperors and the dish of the wealthy is actually becoming the dish of the middle class and erasing shark populations globally. So it's really important to work there because there's not a lot of work and awareness being done. So this is really one of the things that distinguishes Shark Stewards, that we work in North America, but we also work in Southeast Asia, which is really the root of the problem in many cases, for not only shark fin consumption, but also fish consumption. China is the largest fish consuming nation in the world. So education is critical. And we have a chapter in Shenzhen, also in Singapore. We've got young people collecting data, and we hope to go back maybe the end of this year, maybe next year, to support them. So we have a huge network of partners, including media, conservation groups, and most importantly, you guys are our volunteers who help make this work happen. So we really appreciate your work, volunteering. We're trying to raise money. We have a campaign next month, sorry, which actually is next week, over July for Shark Awareness Month. I'll be back in Kona working on a shark study and manta ray pattern recognition, but also with some students on a funded program, blissfully. And so I was in Kona last month. We'll be going back, working with some local people, also doing some a film screening and conversation with local NGOs and local Hawaiians talking about shark protection. So I want to thank you for listening. This is sort of a test deck. It's maybe a little bit wordy. You're welcome to share your feedback. We're tightening it up, but Justin and some other people have had a lot of input. We're getting there. The goal is to have something that you guys can use to share what we do with visually and help share the message of Shark Stewards. So any comments? Lily, so we have about 5 people working on the Shark Watch data project. Do we think, how many data points do we think we have confirmed of California shark catch?
Confirmed of California, I would say probably like at this point we've gone through like I think the first 2,000 and I'd say about 500, 600 so far. But some people also that I've assigned haven't finished their part yet. So it's like we have them all assigned but not quite finished yet. So not exactly sure yet. But a lot of points. We also need help if anyone like is really good at like we have a lot of ones that are like, so we do like green, yellow, or red. If anyone's really good at like looking at a shark and being able to tell what kind of shark it is, we do need help with that. I'm kind of iffy on it, so it'd be really helpful if someone's interested in helping out.
Did I share the guide with you? I thought I did.
I have the guide. It's still a little hard, but.
Well, that's not the published version, so yeah, okay. Well, I can also help with that. We'll definitely want to make sure that the point is to verify this data points and then visualize the data to show fish and wildlife the magnitude of the issue. Also, Audrey's going to be helping with a video because a lot of this content is on YouTube. These guys catching, killing, torturing sharks. And I think it's going to be pretty compelling, you know, when we go to present this. Great, thanks. I mean, we've been whittling through it, and we just got the password to get into the QR code program. So now we need somebody to go in and add some of the tweaks that we'd suggested to the students before they took off for their summer break or whatever, graduation in the wind. So we're going to work on that, get that QR code active, the site behind it, and start proselytizing, making PDFs, sharing them with businesses, sharing them with peers, sharing them with public safety partners, primarily here in Southern California, and trying to collect more data and build public support for this program. Anybody else? Any questions on any of the programs? Or I know you're all pretty active.
I did for Lily. Lily, do you think you need a couple more volunteers to help you finish that out?
If people want to, yes. I feel like also we've gotten a few emails from people that say they want to volunteer, and then I'll shoot them an email, and I'd say about half of them actually email me back like, cool, yeah, give me some rows. So
yeah, it happens. Yeah, I'll find a couple more for you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's kind of tedious. Well, we started originally just looking at YouTube, focusing on 7-gills in the San Francisco Bay because these guys have these tournaments and it's like super macho. And the more pregnant, the more pups, and 7-gills actually have a lot of pups, the more the shark weighs. So these world trophy sharks could have maybe as many as 60 pups. So they're killing more than one shark. And also there could be having serious impacts on the population. And there's a 7-gill. This is our YouTube channel. So I encourage you to go to it, like it, and share it. We're trying to build it. We have hundreds of videos, including City of the Shark, which is a film I made on local sharks, including 7-gills, which is how Mike and I met. Our Ocean Action series is on here from last year. There are a lot of lectures. But also, I just wanted to share a video a short that I did last week from our work in Kona. And this is where we're looking at the MANA program, preparing for a trip to Socorro with our partners Blue Endeavors, bringing students and divers not only to make a film, but also to identify individual rays. I don't know if I can make it full. I can't get to it because you guys are in the corner. There we go. So this is a night dive off Kona, free diving. We just went out on paddle boards and had a light and just dropped in, and the light attracts the plankton, which you can see there in the foreground. And there are at least 7 of these beautiful reef mantas coming that close, almost covering the lens of the camera. And the level of detail right there, look at that W shape. So that one would easily identify and has been observed at this reef for several years. So you can see these spots are all unique, and by matching them in this algorithm, we can start creating a longer term data set and hopefully getting public engagement to contribute their photos and increase this, which is one of the tools that the Marine Megafauna Foundation has used in Mozambique, Mozambique. So you can see how close they get to the divers. You have to sometimes suck your stomach in and lay flat so that they don't hit you, but they'll pirouette just right underneath you. Just amazing. So we did a talk on Endangered Species Day, and Vince Smith of Blue Endeavors was there, but also Dr. Bob Rubin of Santa Rosa Community College, who's been working with manta rays in Mexico and Central America for about 30 years. And Bob has a TED Talk, and I've become fascinated with mantas. They're so beautiful, so graceful, so mystical when you're swimming with them. But also we're seeing their gills, especially in Southeast Asia. They're getting killed for their gills for traditional medicine, traditional Chinese medicine. So these are endangered species. They're protected under CITES, and they're disappearing globally. But hotspots like Hawaii, which now has no shark fishing at all, including recreational or trophy or commercial, these animals are able to survive and to thrive. So one of the biggest hotspots to protect and also to enjoy these species are in the United States. Manta rays have the largest brain per body size of any fish. So that does not include, of course, dolphins, which are mammals, but they have a huge brain. They're actually very recently evolved, really in about the past 7 or 8 million years. So they're a relatively newcomer in the world of elasmobranchs. They have this network, like the white sharks and some of the other laminate sharks have, of capillaries that send the heat from their muscles to their brain. And a large part of their brain is dedicated to their senses, particularly for manta rays in their eyes. So they are a very visual animal. So that was a lot of fun. That was just a short video that I wanted to share with our partners. And I'm trying to do more of these, and as well as encourage people like you guys, if you want, to produce your own short media segments and put it on our YouTube or TikTok or whatever, and share our message and the message of shark conservation. So we're really trying to build that up, and we have a channel now of kids, just kids have sent in videos. So there's about 5 or 6 kid videos on there that we try to share. So kids get really psyched up and inspire, and share those on their platforms like Snapchat and TikTok, which I don't do. So we really want to build this, our YouTube channel. So please, if you do, have a look and share it, and like it, and make your own videos.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
I don't recall his name, but have you been in touch at all with the guy who runs the Manta matching program that uses Wildbook?
No, I've only talked to besides Jason, the Marine Megafauna folks, but one of our volunteers, Justin, has worked with them. So yeah, I mean, the whole goal of this actually is to make it open source, because so much scientific data is not available, or it's not available, especially expensive research like white sharks or makos. You don't see the results for 7 years sometimes, and they have to publish it, so they don't put it out there. So that's part of the problem of the system of academia. So by having this open source, it also engages the community. And I really saw this in Kona. Like, I'm amazed. There are a lot of these people who are retired or partially retired. They all have really nice cameras. And this one location at Honokahau has this kind of this little tiger shark aggregation where, well, actually it's like a tiger shark freeway, because they're coming in where these sports fishermen are cleaning their fish. And so you just sit and wait for them to go by, and almost invariably you'll see a tiger shark or two. So you don't have to shun them. And some of these photographs are amazing. So we're building the relationship and the trust, because a lot of times people don't want to give up their beautiful photographs. But we found a lot of participation. And so the idea is that, we can identify new individuals, which actually they've identified at least 30 individuals so far. But you can also get trends over time and see these sharks when they return each year, hopefully every year, and not disappear at the end of a hook or a long line. So a lot of these people do it because they want to get naming rights. And so they're out there on the hunt because they want to name a shark, and that's okay with us. It increases the data set. So one of our students is gonna be diving, but mostly he's just gonna be sitting in front of a computer. He thinks he's going to Hawaii, and he will have a good time. We're gonna do coral reef transacts and fish IDs, but he's gonna be sitting in front running this algorithm trying to make it work on the first data set. So it's pretty exciting new program, a lot of fun. That hopefully we can expand, or other people can adopt the program elsewhere around the world. And the more data, the more knowledge, the more public education and participation, the more hope there is for sharks. So we do have a few things coming up, COVID allowing. I mentioned July 14th, which is International Shark Awareness Day. It's also smack dab in the middle of Shark Week, which is the most watched shark programming. It's like number 2 to the Super Bowl, I think. It is the Super Bowl of sharks. So we're going to be launching a social media campaign. We're hoping to screen a film, actually have an event in Hawaii, but we'll be online doing some live webinars as well during Shark Month, Shark Awareness Month, because they deserve more than just a week or a day. In August, we have a Sharks and Mermaids Parade that one of our nonprofits who leads our beach cleanups in San Francisco is going to do as a publicity event to support the federal shark fin bill and get some press. And hopefully by that time. It'll be through the House, HR 2811, and we'll be calling on President Biden to sign the Federal Shark Fin Sales Elimination Act. So that's going to be fun. It'll end up in a swim and aquatic park. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of press out of that. So that's on our website if you want to come up on August 28th. And we do have monthly beach cleanups there as well. And on September 5th, we're going to reinstitute our Farallones National Marine Sanctuaries expeditions. So I just talked to the sanctuary. We're getting our permit. We've got a new boat. The trips, one trip is available on September 5th, and we're going to kind of weigh how it goes. We've got a COVID policy, but I'm excited to get back out there. It's one of the best whale years in many years, and people are seeing hundreds of whales from the, or almost 100 whales each day or each hour, as much as an hour off the Farallon Islands under the observation programs, including blue whales, fin whales, humpback whales, and gray whales. So that's exciting wildlife trips that we lead, and that helps support us financially. And we usually run those all through Sharktober into November. So about 6 to 8 trips a year. We also have our Sharktoberfest events. The one's going to be at the Seattle Aquarium. One will be at the California Academy of Sciences, where there's a new exhibit on sharks. We'll be doing an event around that exhibit. And also the Academy is going to start a fundraising campaign to support Shark Stewards, which is very exciting. And so we'll be doing that. I think it's October 7th, the first Thursday of October. But before that, September 28th, we're going to do kind of a hybrid event with NOAA and our National Marine Sanctuary. So we'll be doing virtual talks like we did last year, but also we're going to do a smaller public event at the sanctuary headquarters at Crissy Field. So that's kind of the events we have lined up. So I hope you can come to those. Mike, we might try to reach out to the Birch and do something with the Birch again. I'm hoping to get I've got a book that's a publisher is very interested in. I just need to finish my edits. Heyday Press out of Berkeley, and it'll ideally will be launched this fall or available this fall. And so Sharktoberfest will be a good opportunity to increase awareness, share that, and theoretically pass the shark fin ban. So that's about all I have. If you guys have any questions, I mean, we definitely have a lot of room for opportunities. If you have friends, if you have questions, if you want to participate in some of the other programs. I wanted to just share our petition. Can you see this? So this on change.org, we have 134,983, and we want to get to 150,000 signatures to send to Senator Booker and to send to the representatives in the House who are deliberating this bill, to show that there's strong support for this among the community. So please share this. It's on the sign the petition link on our homepage, on a lot of our posts, of course at change.org. If you just Google Shark Stewards, you'll find our petitions, and you can participate and share those. So help us get over the 150,000 mark, and we'll deliver this. And also, we have access to, through change.org, to those 150,000 people to let them know what we're doing. So these petitions actually do have a big impact, not only in making people feel good that they're actually doing something, they're taking action and letting their legislator know, but they're also actually leveraging communication as well as education on the plight around sharks. So there it is right there. It's right on our homepage. Act Now, it's one of the top buttons. There's more details, of course. We have quite a few pages, which are among our most popular hit pages or viewed pages. on shark finning, shark fin facts, shark finning regulations, what states, what countries, what companies don't sell shark fin or transport shark fins, and what it's all about. So please, if you haven't signed the petition, click on that button. Please share our donate link. I know you guys are already volunteering because you're on our Zoom, but try to bring some more people on next month when we do this, or one of our more routinely scheduled meetings. So, comments? Anybody have a joke? Anybody have a story they want to share? Mike's going diving off the Coronados. Justin, you have anything to add?
I definitely wanted to thank David Cronin. He, like you mentioned, it's important to help add volunteers when we can and bring our friends on. And David actually brought one of his friends on, so he's a good steward of Shark Steward. I know, I believe Lily's brought on one of her friends as well. So a few of y'all have already brought on friends. That's very, very appreciated. We are looking for somebody that can help, coordinate events on an ongoing basis. So if you have any friends that are interested in that, feel free to send them our way. But other than that, I appreciate all y'all are doing for us. It's very much appreciated.
Yeah, likewise. And thank you, especially Justin, for coordinating all of the effort and staying up late a lot. It's 10:30 where you are. And also thank you, David, for your guest blog. We had a nice uptick during Women's Heritage Month in our web traffic. And I attribute that to Molly and some of the other women who contributed their blogs so that we were able to share. So we have a new guest blog coming up. It looks like Frank will have one hopefully this month or early next month. So it's a great way to increase participation, and it's not just me writing them. So it's fun for me to see your perspectives and share your stories or your voice and why we want to save sharks together. So, and I want to thank Bill and the board. Bill, do you have anything to add? Any comments or?
No, I appreciate you letting me sit in. It's great to get caught up on all of this. So thank you.
Yeah, well, you're always welcome. Thank you. So great, everybody. Well, thanks. We'll try to do a little bit more advanced notice. I kind of forgot until yesterday or the day before. We do have a shark list. I don't know how many of you are on it. It's a group list, and it's on that calendar. That does send an automatic refresher, a reminder, but it's not a real active, like a listserv where people are going back and forth, because I don't really have a lot of bandwidth to get into that, like on social media. Right, Mike? When you get into these like crazies and the back and forth, but it's really more about a sharing. It's a list that we share events and or we share campaigns on. And so that does send out automatic reminders. And so we'll do another one of these in a month, or we have our regular Shark Watch meeting on Tuesday, I think, right, Lily? Tuesdays?
Yes, Tuesdays.
Okay, great. Well, Justin put in a link. Oh, I've seen this, the Deep Sea app.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, there's another one I've seen too by the same people, but it really is cool. And
I don't know if it's all correct, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who knew that a blue tang would go almost 50 meters? Leafy sea dragons, like what the hell are they doing down there? What's really amazing are some of these marine mammals. There's a big shark, bull sharks, 150 meters. Probably going after those green sea turtles. They're one of their favorite foods. Then you get into the twilight, like the nasopelagic. So cat sharks like it down there. White sharks, actually deeper. So the work that the tagging of pelagic predators determines that they're actually deeper than 3,000 feet. So a little bit deeper than this. It's pretty amazing. Like, what the hell are they doing down there? We think they're going after giant squid. Gummy sharks are deep sea shark, blue sharks. I mean, this is just like the pressure, if you can imagine, every 33 feet, it doubles. So our atmospheric pressure is doubled at 33 feet. So it's twice the amount of weight or pressure. And 66 is 3 times. And it's just amazing at this deep. There's literally thousands of pounds per square inch on the body mass of these animals. And they're surviving, and their organs aren't collapsing, and their brains are functioning. It's really amazing how deep many of these organisms can survive. And I'm just looking to see if they had the Portuguese giant octopus, oarfish. One of these washed up on Catalina last year. These are really weird, and they're deep sea fish, rarely seen in the environment, in situ. Look at that, sperm whale, almost 3,000 feet. Leatherbacks, beaked whales. Here we are, deep, the lightless zone. Blobfish. Hey, there's a frilled shark. Who was that? Lexi, Lily? 1,200 meters. Good call. Goblin shark, of course. I mean, this is such a cool infograph.
I didn't see your the dogfish on there.
Yeah, I think it's deeper than this, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 3,000 meters. So 6 gills with the cousin of 7 gills in the Hexancanidae. 1,700 meters. Narwhals, wow. So this is called neil.fund/deep sea if you want to look at it. Oh gosh, we collected some of these giant isopods, and it was a new species off of the Philippines on the Cal Academy expedition, and they look like aliens. They're really weird. They have these giant eyes. Greenland shark at 2161. There's the giant squid, which it looks like a lot of these organisms will migrate vertically in what's called a diel migration. So they'll go up at night and down during the day. Elephant seals are one of the largest, if not I think elephant seals are the deepest diving marine mammal. 2,300 meters. Let's see if they have our shark down here. Chimeras, of course, the holocephalans, which are the outgroup in the elasmobranchs of the shark skates and rays and the chimera. So these are very basal, very, very deep in the evolutionary history cartilaginous fish. And we have the spotted ratfish, we call it, off California, typically deeper, but they'll come up to a couple 100 feet. Vampire squid.
I think I saw the Greenland shark on there. That's a delicacy in Iceland.
Really? Well, their blood is is loaded with urea, which degrades into uric acid, which is basically what's in urine. So it must be kind of semi-marinated. It's almost like they have an antifreeze in their blood as well.
Yeah, they eat it fermented.
Yeah, they eat a lot of weird stuff. Doesn't look like they have the Portuguese. Oh, cookie cutter. Wow. 3,400 meters. I'm going to have to check my facts because I had 3231 was the deepest shark I could find.
No, it keeps going. I'm scrolling ahead. There's a shark. Keep going.
A lizard fish, which is
it's amazing.
Fish.
There's a
average depth of the ocean, 3,684 meters. That's amazing. There's the Titanic. This is really cool. Patagonia tube fish. Dumbo octopus. and then into the abyss. A lot of black. I don't know what a sea pig is. Anybody? Megamouth. Megamouth, 46. We're gonna have to verify this. This is a new one on me. Megamouth was.
I've not fact-checked this.
What's that?
I said I have not fact-checked this before I send it to you. I just thought it was fun.
Yeah, it is fun. So megamouth is one of the few filter feeding sharks, and it wasn't described until 1976, I think it was, when it was pulled up on the end of an anchor by the Navy in Honolulu. It'd been described in the fossil record, and the teeth and some of the jaws had been described, but we thought megamouth was actually extinct until they actually fished up. Since then, there have been I think only about 10 specimens have been described because they're a deep sea organism and we know so little about the deep sea. Iridia, which looks like kind of a shrimp or krill. So the deeper you go, faceless fish. Like, why do you need a face? It's dark. Amphipods, Marianas Trench, deepest spot. I think we must be out of sharks. Some really crazy organisms down there, and yet we know so little about it. We know more about the surface of the moon. More people have visited the moon than have visited the deep sea. Wow, so that's really cool. And of course, there's plastic down there besides shipwrecks. Looks like it can be a lonely place. It's cold, high pressure, but there's animals that live there. Grenadiers, wow. Anyway, so you can check that out. I'll have to fact check. I'll get back to you on that, whether my my Portuguese dogfish was correct or not, or indeed the Greenland shark is it was the megamouth, right? Megamouth. I'm gonna have to do some research here. But generally, the only way we know it is not because through direct observation, it's because we fish them up on the end of a hook or dredge. So anyway, I want to thank everybody. Great to see y'all. I'll give you back the rest of your evening. And until next time, see you on the internet, see you on the blogs, see you in the movies.